All right, you guys. Now we're going to do a review as we're getting ready to dream. So we've kind of spent the fall harvesting and kind of having some clearing in our space. And as you can see, there's a few more ceremonies that are coming up around just honoring what is, what was, so we can dream into what will be through our own desires and joys and wishes. So this is a wonderful thing to do between seasons. It's a wonderful thing to do halfway through the year, and it's a really wonderful activity to do at the end of the year. So it's November, and November is a time I begin to dream into next year. It's kind of like getting sense of that seed that I've that's planted deep in the earth that I might not necessarily know about yet, like what it's actually going to become. It's kind of like a mystery. And so during that time, it's what can help that seed grow or help inform that seed is what we call a review. We're going to do it through a spiral. So what you're going to do is you have your jug of water, right? You're going to watch me use watercolor with this. And we're going to do a wet on wet technique. So here we go. So here I have my watercolors, and what I like to do with my watercolors is give them a little spray so they're ready to go. During this, a little technique, one of some I learned, I picked up from a different teacher along the way. I just love it. Oops. Then I'm going to take my brush and make a spiral. So I like to start at the center and work out. And you can hardly see it because I'm doing it through water. And I'm going to put a couple of layers on it. Each time I'm letting it grow bigger. Kind of getting it nice and wet. I'm just in my journal. Right. This is just a lovely way to do this. I might get it more wet along the way, but this is good for now. And I like to work myself backwards, and you'll see how that is. I love the whole gift of spiral dynamics in that every year. I love the whole spiral of our how the galaxy, it's just something about it, that whole idea of gravity and evolution. I just love it. Put a little bit more water in here. I got a pretty good track going. I'll probably put more water as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the month that we're in, and we're in October for me, and it's like, what color is October representing this year? And I kind of have this deep indigo color, so I'm going to put that in here, and I'm just going to kind of feel, where that color wants to end. So it's super intuitive, right? Like it ends about there. October ends about there. Then I want to go into September. So what color was September for me? So we're using our gift of memory, not so much through events, but through color. So there. I'll do that again. I like to kind of get it spread out, move it a little bit. I like it to blend into each other, kind of marking that time bleeds into each other a little bit. And then I'm going to go into August. And again, Just being super intuitive about it. Looks like I want to bring in this here. Just playing and then really just loving the color and the feelings that come out of the color. And then going into July, and you're going to watch, I kind of have two colors in July, right? So what happens when we have two colors? That might be kind of part of your experience that month. So I had a lot of transition in July, so it makes sense for me. I'm going to water this down a little bit ahead of me. Sometimes just using water pushes it around. And I kind of have this green also coming into July. There. And then I'm going to go into, here in a minute, I'm going to go into June. So now I'm in June. I'm going to use two different color pinks in June. June is not as big. I'm kind of feeling May. May also has two colors. So another two color one. And again, just really letting the colors talk to each other. Just going by what I want it to be, what I feel that it is, what I see that it is, what I hear that it is. Just using those beautiful intuitive senses. And again, I like to play with water to help move the colors so they're dynamic. A little bit deeper blue. Then I'm going to go into April. And April's interesting to me because it has a lot of dark energy. Like, never want to be afraid of the dark energy. Can't tell if that's the color I want. Kind of. I'm going to use this umber. There we go. So April had some different colors for me. And we never want to associate. We just want to go by what it feels like and let that feeling be the informer and not kind of past or programmed relationship to color. Okay. Now we're going to go to a little bit darker color in there. March. March kind of keeps going. This kind of inner earth color. A lot of inner earth energy. March. I love to let colors kind of bleed out past that spiral, make them kind of dynamic. So letting that happen. Again, just by adding water and more color. There we go. I'm really liking this. Isn't that interesting? And I'm going to go into February. And so what's happening for me is colors also bringing up animals. So February, the reason I'm using gray is I'm seeing a wolf now. So I'm also learning something here. Now I'm going to go into January. So again, I'm kind of doing this thing now where instead of it's bold, I've started making the edges darker. And if you watch my paintbrush stroke, I am moving it towards the line instead of covering it all up. This is just a technique. And I'm going to go, nothing you have to do, just so that you can see why is that. If you're liking that, like, how did I do that? So there we go. I'm just adding some different colors in here, and I'm actually moving into December now. And I'm going to put a little bit more of this color in here. Okay, and then from December, I'm going to put a little dark in there. I'm going to go into November, and I'm just going to bring it a little bit like that. November, again, is this earthly color. Ooh, I love those colors together. This is just a wonderful way to get a feeling. And then we're going to come back in a moment. This is a deer. I can feel the deer coming in. Right? And I like to match years. So I want to put in October. So I started in October and I'm ending in October. Just so I can match the year. We're walking backwards. Okay. And this is my timeline from the year. And then I'm going to let that dry. So let yours dry, and then we'll come back and we will fill in the next layer to this review. Right, you guys, enjoy. All right, here we go. Step number 2. So now it's kind of moving within this circle and finding feelings or memories or energy or symbols as you kind of move through. And you can use just your pencil, you could use a white pen, you could use a black pen, you can use whatever feels good to you. I'm gonna try this actually. These are new pens, so I have no idea if these are gonna work. So I kind of started, and so we'll see how it goes here. And this is something to take your time with. You know, you don't have to do this all at once. So I have the word sacred came, and it's really just a feeling I got. And I want to put the words in there, and I could have written them here too, which I like a little bit better. And then I'm kind of softening my gaze. Let me step back for a minute. I'm kind of softening my gaze, and what I'm looking for in here are little shapes, or, you know, it's kind of when you turn a scribble into something. Or it can be very concrete, just a feeling you have or a memory you have, and you might not know what it means yet. Like I see this flower here, and I don't quite know what it means yet, but I don't even know if I want to put it in there yet. So I kind of went for words to begin with. So I have this word, abundant. And then I'm kind of looking, and I'm kind of hovering, looks like. So to me, that's greater sight. I kind of see this bird in here, and just greater sight. Now, it's going to be hard for you guys to see this because this is such a light pen. I'm just writing words in here. And I kind of feel the word expansion. So the words, the colors help a feeling come. So the part of us that's reflecting isn't necessarily our mind, the logic, reason, the, I bought a house, or, for me. Now, some of you guys that might show up. So just go with whatever side of yourself is talking. So for me, it's very much my kind of intuitive heart, that what's bringing up for me, that kind of shows me a different way that I have expanded or grown. So let's see, play. Oops, I want to use this one. So I'm writing words in here. And I have an energy in here that's just kind of like, I'm not sure what to do with. I keep seeing like this bearded dragon or chameleon energy, and I'm just not ready to feel that yet, so I'm kind of moving past that. Excuse me. And I might do this 2 or 3 times until it just feels complete. Okay. And those of you that took my Ignite course, you'll see I'm in February. I'm not even mentioning that, but there was a change for me that happened. And sometimes you'll feel your inner conflict. So I had a charging forward here. And for me, I know it's hard to see. I see this kind of bull, like this Taurus energy. And then I hear almost like something in my path obstructed me from going. And really, it was committing to my path of joy. So you can't. So again, it's hard to see on the thing, but I see this hummingbird, and I had this sense of joy. So the obstruction was necessary, right? So then we get to also see some of our obstacles or some of the things that might have caused us some unrest. Help us in our journey. And then what was hidden came into the light. So I'm just going to write into the light. And then I have this giraffe that I've put in here. I'll use a different color to pull her out. Oh, which color? Not sure yet. So I'm going to wait. I don't know what color yet. But you can kind of see her. I pencil her in. And I have we all have unique relationships to our animals. And even sometimes here, I see this horse now. And so I want to put in movement. So I'll even see things above me. And I'm not even putting in, I went to Panama. There's all kinds of things. So that's what I mean. Sometimes letting your eye drift to different parts of your timeline. And this is super special for me. It is like a new guide came forward for me to be working with me. So that was a very interesting time for me. And this where it might seem like I'm being more logical. So I really feel the stones. Right. I'm gonna come here. There she is. I wondered when she would come in. And this is really what's been happening is I've been having a lot of visions, and this is the eagle, and she's coming in. And I'm not even going to put any words right now. So you can see now I'm even starting to draw in some stuff. There's something happening here. I'm not ready to feel that yet. And some part of me felt like I was detoxing. So I'm going to put that in here. It's almost like it's my intestines or something. So detoxed. Detox. So that's important for me. Oh, and here she is. Here's another little thing that came forward, which is the lioness. So again, I don't know why, right? But there is the lioness. So she's important to my movement forward. And I'm going to show you something here in a minute. Is sometimes I like to look into the negative space. So I'm going to use this one. These pens, I'm just trying to get to use them a little bit. And I see this, this buffalo here in what you might call the negative space. And it's not all of her, it's just part of her. And then right here, so again, I'm here in October, but yet I'm bouncing back into the summer, and I hear New Horizons. So they start talking to each other. Again, I'm not using my logic part of my brain, except for this one time when stones, I could see myself holding a tangible stone. Then once again, I can see a dragon, and I don't know if you guys remember, I did a lot of dragon energy. I drew some dragons. I have 2 of them painted and 2 of them waiting to be painted. So there's something with the dragons that showed themselves here. Just kind of following this, right? So you can see that you can do this forever. I'm going to put this hummingbird in. Just by imagination. Right? Just by imagining. And here's an interesting communication. Right, so November is communicating with June. So there's some communication happening there. Oh, and here's the turtle. So this is just a wonderful tool to kind of honor your year. That's one way of looking at it. It's also kind of collecting your energy, right? Like calling back energy. So it really is dependent on it's like a new sense of grounding. I'm going to put that in here. And I really do feel this new sense of grounding came in, right? All right, whoops. Making marks. It wasn't quite dry, but that's okay. All right, let's see. So you can see I can take a rest. I could go back. I could leave it for a day or two, come back, see what else I see. It's super interesting because I see this. I can't tell if it's that giant. I don't know what animal this is yet. I can't tell if it's an otter. At first I thought it was a lynx. I can't tell if it's a caraway, whatever those giant rodents are called. But so then I'll see. I'm going to sit with that for a moment and wait. So I have an affiliation to, I feel like I got to put this flower in. And the interesting thing is I spent a lot of time this winter painting flowers. And so here she is. So your own paint stroke, your own signature, your own energy, like we think we're just painting, but there's a definitely transfer from your body onto the paper. Oops, I really messed that up. To let myself see. It's like, oh my gosh, right, I was painting flowers a lot this year. This summer. Then I kind of feel this very ancient, I feel this all the time, you guys, that ancient water dinosaur that looks like a alligator, like an ancient prehistoric alligator, and I feel it all the time. I can feel it right here. It's like she's this very interesting guide for me through the waters, like through the ancient waters. So I'm gonna just honor her by I'm just gonna call it swimming through the ancient waters. One thing that can help you pop in is, then I see a llama. One thing that could help you pop in is music. Putting on some kind of meditative music that you like. That can really be helpful. So a lot of animals are starting to come in now. I'm going to sit with their messaging. Right. I see this, the chameleon again, or that bearded dragon. I'm just not ready to, I think I have some judgment around that. I'm going to darken this. I like this dark color. I'm really just playing with these. I'm not sure how I like it, but it was good for teaching this, so we'll see. You can feel the times of years that you just love this time of year. It's so nurturing. It really was. That earthy, nurturing year. All right, you guys. Again, I'm going to step away and see what new things come, and then we will go to the last part of this. All right, many blessings, you guys. Here we are. So I spent a little bit more time going over it. And the next thing to do on the outside of things is just to, how do you want to honor this year, right? So for me, I kind of see roses. So I'm going to plant some roses in here. And the other thing we're going to do, so there's two things. So sorry, I kind of jumped over there. Is kind of own something from here. Own an aspect of yourself through here. So what do I mean by that? Right? So for me, as soon as the buffalo came, it reminded me of a painting that I did about She Who Dreams. And that just that owning that I dream my world into being. There's nobody else that does that. I'm the one that does that. So when you're kind of looking, what you want to find is some kind of anchor, and it's going to show up right in the middle, right? Some kind of statement, and to kind of help, like this was a very spontaneous statement for me, to kind of help you anchor into the statement. It can be I am, it could be she who, it could be I claim, it could be I love. So something in that realm. So again, let me repeat that again. I love, I am, she who, right? Just finding something that helps you weave a claiming into form, right? You really want to have this claiming part into form. So even when I'm looking at it now, I see yet another thing that's super important, which is the polar bear, and she always shows up, right? And so this is new alignment, and that's really what's been coming. This fall for me is the first time I really put some energy into selling my artwork, and it's been fabulous, and I'm so thankful for any of you guys that have done that, who have been, had a piece that called to you and you said yes to it, so thank you. And that's going to be a continuation into the coming year. So next month, and actually in December, what we'll do is we'll dream forward. So take your time with this, right? You could do this over the next week. You could do this even into next month. Just give it credence. Honor it. Honor what this tool can help you align to. All right, so you're going to watch me. It's going to be a speed up video here of me kind of honoring what this was for me this year, and kind of, so this is the last kind of sealing of the plate of the piece, and with that, here we go.